Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today we're going to be giving out another update on Vinco Ventures going the ticker BBIG. Since my last video, the stock has seen a good amount of growth in terms of price point, and right now we're going to give more of an update, including updating the technical analysis, which I'll do in the second half of this video. So Vinco Ventures. In case you've never heard about them, Vinco Ventures is not one company that just relates to NFT, but a collection of different companies that they do acquire and basically try to innovate in, grow, and perhaps either spin off as an IPO or sell. So this company has multiple companies underneath, which they acquired previously, and they do have a previous presentation, but it's not updated. The last presentation was October 6th, and the last thing that a lot of people are talking about is Questrade. Questrade is very interesting at this time being because it is going to be the spin-off for almost everything cryptocurrency for this company, which gave it momentum to start with. All this massive jumps this year, later on in the second half, was related towards cryptocurrency, NFT, and now they're having their own spin-off with cryptocurrency mining NFTs. Now, we don't have a news since November 22nd, but we did have an SEC filing that showed up that there was an exchange of transactions happening in the background in January, and that kind of gives you a bit of a sense on Questrade. Now, in my last video, I also found a piece of information that says Questrade processing basically for transaction record dates and everything will be in the first half of 2022, but we don't actually have an exact date at the time being. Now, NFT itself, ENFT.com or ENFT beta, this website here is part of their going to be Questrade, but currently under BBIG. And what they have here is different kind of soundtracks. They try to kind of emulate a marketplace where you can basically trade NFTs for music. Now, nonetheless, when you go on towards NFT marketplace, you won't find ENFT perhaps in the first few pages. But there's a key thing here. ENFT is not really as a massive marketing tool for this company. It needs a lot of marketing in order to show more for Questrade. If you haven't really known about ENFT, once you go into Vinco Ventures, for instance, it's a little bit hard to find where that lies. So there's a reason why they're trying to spin it off as Questrade to get more attention more towards the cryptocurrency side of it all. Now, there is a lot of growth to happen here, but basically it hasn't picked up as they wished for ENFT.com. However, the price point and retail is still loving this company nonetheless. Now, we don't have a massive news coming up. It was more of something relating towards their Lomotive kind of agreements with Sash Group and everything in between, but at the same time, just picking up hype from retail. Now, this company here has multiple ventures underneath, as we say, but the price over sales is not updated in terms of profitability. It was bad last year, but hopefully we'll get new numbers this year. Institutional buyers, we do have two new institutional buyers, very small amounts on the 14th and the 12th, around 10,000 shares and 500 shares respectively. XR Securities liquidated around 17.32%. And when we're looking into the short interest, there is a bit of an interesting thing going on. There's currently no short shares available to short sell. That means all of them have actually been borrowed. And you're able to see a massive spike in both volume and short volume also. So you're able to see that the overall volumes of short selling or short volumes in general was around, let's say, 1.6, 2.3, around 40%. And with the massive volume surge, that brought up as well more shorts. So in the last two trading sessions, you had 73 million short stocks and 52 million on the day before. So it's not really a short squeeze per se, but it can actually fuel a little bit of people having to cover during the intraday and fuel in multiple spikes that can actually cause people who are going long to rally on and push the price a little bit higher. So it's all playing into the dynamics of this. But before we move on towards technical analysis, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notification buttons on for this video or this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like and let's move on towards technical analysis. Now, from here on the technical analysis perspective for Vinco Ventures, you're able to see that the stock price has basically soared actually above the 200 SMA and all moving averages, making it bullish. Now, the stock itself, some of the moving averages like 30 MA and 10 SMA are curling upwards, suggesting more of a move towards the positive side and a bullish side. So that's all really good that we're seeing. On the 80x, the average directional index, that's picking up steam. It's not yet a strong move of this base indicator, but you're able to see 3 bullish candles. That alone signifies a really strong move. But basically, it means it still has some fuel to actually go on for a massive rally. The William %R, which is very similar to the relative strength index, shows that this one is actually in fact overbought. The MACD shows a very massive bullish reversal starting off back on the 10th of January and still fueling on with no sign of cooling down. Momentum has actually gone positive around the 12th of January, and what you're able to see is one of the actual best momentums it's seen ever since the previous rally happening back on October. Now hopefully we don't see kind of the same thing happening, but we'll discuss that in a second. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow. It shows that there might be another leg up for this one, as you get to see they're all kind of going a little bit upwards. And what we're seeing here in terms of moving average bands, the Bollinger Bands is between 369 and 185, and the moving average bands is still going upwards between 304 and 249. Volumes have actually spiked significantly, suggesting that it still might have some room to grow. You're able to see the volumes are actually increasing rather than decreasing. So whenever volumes are increasing, that's a good sign. The day the volume drops, that might be a sign for you to kind of jump ship because it gets a lot more riskier. But if you're all about risk and love the adrenaline, then gamble away. Now, in terms of Fibonacci retracements, we're able to see a significant resistance that will probably push this one around 444. So that's a very significant resistance. It got very close to it around 440. And then above that, 598, 722, 846, 1023, and 1249, while the support is at 195 on the Fibonacci retracements. Now, let's talk first support and then resistance. The first support onto this one is the 405, and then 381, then down to 361, down to 328, going down to 313, and then downwards to around 296, 277, 260, a very strong one at 239, and a very strong one as well again at 216, and then 195. Resistances. There is the first resistance going to be hitting around 424, and then the 439/440, and then 473, and then upwards to 534, and then a strong one at 601, and then a choppy one but still significantly strong at 683, a very strong one at 760, another very strong one at 838, and then it jumps a little bit higher to around 908, and then 959, and then following that somewhere closer to the 1118. I do anticipate if it reaches there, it'll be a high volatility that these numbers in terms of resistance might not really matter above the $10. Now it comes to the question, Ed, what do you think is going to happen here? Now I don't have currently analyst recommendations, but from what I see is that this stock does see significant jumps and then significant drops afterwards, and it seems to kind of go on in a pattern. The question is, when will the fuel kind of stop? If we were to take a look at volumes previously, it's when the volumes start dipping down. So you're able to see volumes increase, and then it dips down. That might be your sign to kind of sell around this candle. So volumes still continuously drop down even though it jumps a little bit higher the next day. That is usually an indication. You get to see here, volumes jump, and then the next day it kind of stabilizes, but the volume drops. That is usually your signal to sell. So based on historical kind of aspects of this chart, even though I like this company, I do think that they might have a really strong future, especially as well in the short term with Cryptide, and the information is going to come out for record date that will bring more people to buy just to get the 10-to-1 share distribution for Cryptide. But based on historical action, when volumes drop, you must go. Otherwise, you might actually end up holding the bag. And it's not necessarily bad if you like the stock, hold the bag as long as you want. You might actually become a millionaire in 100 years. We don't know, in 10 years, 5 years. We don't know how the stock is going to actually perform that very much long term. That really depends on the management skills. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.